Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I have some very exciting news, which is that on Sunday, I am going to New York for 3 weeks. This trip is actually not related to my aspiring author career, but more my corporate career. I'm going because work is sending me, but I am gonna make the most of it and it become as authory, bookish as possible. I've been to New York recently in October. I went to so many bookshops. I was so inspired when I was writing the third book that I've ever written, like the draft of it, and it just re-injected some energy into my veins, which is exactly what I need right now because I've just been going through it in my corporate life. Things have been changing so much that I've been working so much, feeling like not in a good place with it. And so because of that, I think my writing has kind of had a knock on. So I haven't really been feeling like writing. And then I've also been in a massive reading slump. I've been reading a book so slowly. I have my Kindle, I'll be taking it with me to read, but I've been reading the Lachlan Feuds, the second book in the series. I really enjoyed the first, but I read it so long ago and I did a reading vlog on it. But I read it so long ago, I think it was like January 2024, that coming back into the series, I'm so confused as to what is happening, but I'm also in a reading slump anyway. But also my sister is currently editing my draft of my third novel and she has a really stressful job as well. And she's just been finding it really hard to find some time and sit and edit. And I can't be too hard on her. She's editing it for free for me. So I'm doing as much as I can in the background. I've done a few videos before about me querying literary agents and I've been trying to find some. I've got a huge Excel of like which agents I want to query my book to. And I know that I have that when I'm in New York, but I just feel so uninspired and so unmotivated to even do it. And I know a lot of that has come with work. And I'm hoping that going to the New York office and hanging out with my colleagues in New York will just make me feel really positive, and it's spring. It's going to be an amazing time to visit New York that I'm just hoping I can sit in my author feels and just feel so inspired in a new location. I realized this video is going to be a very chatty vlog and I haven't done such a chatty vlog since I think when I was going through it maybe a month or so ago, because I had the same issue where I was like, my corporate job is taking over my life so much and I don't know if I have capacity to do my social media and also to be an author. And over time I've been kind of monitoring that. And the thing I love about these chatty vlogs is I've always set out with my YouTube channel, when I sort of spoke about my goals, was I want to change this channel into being like a depository of my journey of an author, because my aspiration is to become a traditionally published author. I do enjoy working in the corporate world. I work in finance, but if I could have a dream, the dream would be to create long form videos every week and to write many, many romance novels and not have like a corporate job. But obviously I need the corporate job to pay my bills. But it's so funny that I just love having these videos like recorded and like shared on YouTube so that I see my progress, but also it's so good for reflecting because I continually battle with myself as to like what I have time to do, how I can fit everything sort of into my day, that just talking through these thought processes is like therapy in itself. Like my therapist loves that I do this. And then also on the flip side of that, you can A, see how far you've come, but B, if you are feeling like I have questions, I can just look back at these videos and be like, okay, what were my points at the time? How do I feel? Does it re-inspire me to start doing YouTube again or like to get back to writing? It's a really nice tool that I use to keep me motivated with my writing. But the purpose of this video is to do a very chatty check-in as to where I'm at with my writing and also sort of, oh, Lola. My dad took Lola for a groom, so she looks very smart, which is why she wants to be in this video, because she wants to show everyone how lovely you look, don't you? So back to the video and back to some exciting news. So let's talk about New York and let's talk about where I'm at with my writing and my book so far, because this is another check-in, which I'm gonna love to look back on when this book is fully done. So I'm going to New York for work. It's for 3 weeks and I come back in Easter. And I mentioned it earlier, but New York for me is going to be such a good reset because I don't have to worry about stuff like cleaning, because I will be in a hotel room or like an apartment thing. And then also I get food delivered because work are paying for it. So all of those like silly admin things that I will be doing like week on week that do impact me and impact my evening, because obviously if I have to clean or if I have to cook food, I'm spending less time writing. So I'm going to take those tiny little benefits and making the most of having more time to write. Of course, the main reason I'm there is for my corporate job. So I'm sure I will have to do things in the evening with work as well, like a lot of socializing, which will be nice. And then also working hard in the day and being in the office every day. But for me, I still see that I'm gonna have so much more time than I otherwise would, which is great because I sound really antisocial when I say this, but stepping away from my normal life in London means that like I won't be distracted by going out and seeing people and like trying to balance a social life with work and writing, because I have friends in New York, but I don't have as many friends. I sound popular, I'm talking like I have 1 to 2 friends in New York, whereas I have like 5 here. But I also get distracted. Tom, I love you, and I know you're going to be watching this video, but I also won't get distracted by wanting to do stuff all the time with Tom, because since he's moved in, I have absolutely loved it, and all I've wanted to do is just spend time, him and Lola and me, going and doing stuff in London. Whereas I will be having a lot of alone time because I will be in New York by myself, and I'll see friends maybe a couple of times, and then I'll see colleagues like Monday to Friday, but that's it. So I'm going to really monopolize on more alone time to romanticize writing sprints, going out into different New York coffee shops. I kind of maybe want to search up where like famous authors wrote books in New York and go and sit in that coffee shop or that library or something and get in those feels. So I really want to monopolize on this opportunity that I don't think I'll ever get again in this corporate job, and I don't think it's likely someone this junior traveling as much for work in the field that I work in. So I want to just grasp this and use it to motivate myself with my writing, and then also just see what New York has to offer in like the bookish like world, because there are so many amazing bookshops, but there are so many like cafes, like I mentioned, that famous authors have written in. There's also, it's springtime, there's the park, I can go sit and read in it, I can, I don't know, like maybe even sit in my book in the park as well. So I think that's going to be really exciting. And then on the flip side of this as well, I mentioned I've been feeling like pretty burnt out in all areas. Like I really wanted to make YouTube videos, haven't made any TikTok videos for a while, and I am just wallowing in this break. I think one of my friends who's creative did really say, and it's such a huge lesson for me, is she was like, creative people also need space to then feel creative. You see it all the time with authors, and I've mentioned it in videos before. They'll write a first draft of their novel, which is what I've done, and then you have to walk away for a minimum of a month to give it room to breathe. And I'm in that phase at the moment where I'm just giving myself room to breathe, because I haven't found any like really inspiring things I want to do on TikTok or YouTube shorts. I love like creating long form YouTube, because for me that's just a depository of me showing my author career and my aspiring author journey, and that feels so much easier to create stuff and just talk about where I'm at with my book. But also I've been leaving my book to have room to breathe, which I'll go on in a second and talk about. But with that, I don't have as much content to talk about. Like I can't do editing vlogs, I can't do writing vlogs because I'm not writing. And so I'm finding it hard to come up with things to talk about, but then also just talking about where I'm at and talking about that I have had no progress is a video in itself. But I think New York provide just a fresh wave of like inspiration for creating videos, because I can show you guys me writing in New York. I actually had planned, I have this idea for a 4th book in my head, and I'm so excited to go to New York and actually start writing it. I didn't think I would. I thought all I would do in New York is take inspiration for it, because part of the book is set in New York. However, because my sister needs a lot longer to edit my 3rd book, so to rewind, in case anyone hasn't watched my other videos, I have written 2 novels and self-published them. They are romance YA novels that always explore mental health. Every single book I write has an undercurrent of mental health discussions within that book. So those 2 have been self-published. The royalties go to charity. I have been spending the last 2 years writing a 3rd novel, and it has been a lot slower than the other 2 books. But this is an adult romance novel with a lot of emotional twists and turns, and also weaves in mental health. I finally finished the first draft of that. I've given it to a friend, I've given it to a colleague, and I've also given it to my sister, and my sister edits my book. So she edited the first 2 for me. She's editing this one, but she works a really tough job and it's quite draining for her. And because she's editing my book for free, like I mentioned before, I'm not going to pester her, so I'm going to let her do it. And she has taken longer than I thought she would, which is totally fine for me, because I believe everything happens for a reason. In my head, I'm like, if my book isn't done until X date and I don't formally query agents until this date, that is because at that point there will be an agent that freed up, and that I just believe everything happens for a reason. The timing of when they read my book and the date they do it, it's all, the universe is going to move and put everything in alignment so that the agent that is supposed to be my agent in the future will read the book at the time that they want to say yes to it. That's what's going on in my head. So I'm like, take your time and I'll get it back when she's done with it, and I can move forward with it from there. I was going to spend my time in New York just querying agents. If you saw one of my previous videos, you would have seen that I have created an Excel list of all the agents I want to query. I've gone through that. I've got a list of maybe about 10, and I've categorized them and color coded them in priority of who I want to query. And in that video, I do talk about how I find those agents and how I think that they're right for me. So if you're interested in that and you're an aspiring writer, definitely check out. It was the video that's just been posted the week prior to this video, and maybe I'll link it in the description. But I have that list, but because the manuscript isn't finished yet, I don't need to rush to writing those. And because my 4th book that I have come up with this idea and it has just been sticking with me for weeks, and I feel so excited to actually write it, I figure let's just start writing it. I can pick it up and then I can drop it when I'm querying my agents on the 3rd book. I don't have to have a set timeline of finishing the 3rd book before jumping into the 4th. Like, it's actually okay to write a 4th book, and I want to lean into creative and inspired I feel with this book. I think as a creative, it's really important to just go where your intuition is telling you to go. And so I think that's going to be my plan. So actually, I think I might have more writing vlogs in New York than perhaps I expected. I'm going to romanticize it, like I said, try and find different locations to write and just get in the New York feels, because the main character in the 4th book goes to New York on a work trip, which is very similar to what I'm doing. And the corporate experience that I'm going to have as well, the beautiful thing about that is also going to help tailor how I set up this book, because my experience will, like, what's the word? My experience will also feed through this book, because I'm living that experience that character is going to have. We're not going to have the same backgrounds, and she's going to have a very different upbringing to what I have had, but nonetheless, that experience is going to help me write the book. And I'm just going to start writing it, and then when my sister is done with editing the 3rd book, I can just take a break from it. I can edit that, and then I can write my query letters. But also, if I want a little bit of a break from writing when I'm in New York, I can start querying, like writing the draft letters, because all of these letters are literally like a job application. So I need to make sure that they're crafted really well, and I spend as much time on them as I would a chapter in my book. So yeah, that's kind of my plan for New York. I want to embrace it. I want to feel more creative, and I'm hoping I can really get out of this negative rut that I'm feeling in, and this sort of tiredness and this lethargicness. I'm hoping New York will just bring a fresh set of energy. I'm hoping to create loads of videos, and I'll of course show you my journey in New York, how I'm doing. I'll do a few just general New York vlogs of what I get up to, but then also I'll do some focused videos so you can see how much I write over there, if I start the 4th book, if I end up editing any of the 3rd book, if my sister comes back, or if I query any agents, I will of course let you know. And it wouldn't be a trip to New York without drinking a lot of coffee, so I will be in some good coffee shops. I'm also planning to go to the bookshop that Taylor Swift filmed the music video Red in. I read that is in New York, so I'm gonna see if I can find that. I'm gonna go to some new bookshops, because in October I did a few videos where I went to a couple of New York bookshops, but I want to broaden the horizon, because I know there are so many bookshops out there. So if you have any recommendations of where I should go, either bookshops, coffee shops, or places to visit as a bookish person, or anywhere that you think will inspire me to write more, please let me know in the comments. But thank you for watching this rather rambly video. I'm just so happy that I'm documenting my journey as a writer, the ups and the downs. This is certainly more of a down, but I'm hoping with New York it will be an up. So if you've watched to the end, thank you for listening to my rambles, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video, which should hopefully be in New York.